Ladies, gentlemen, welcome. I'm Ify, and in this video I'm going to share with you a haul of amazing budget fragrances, but this time they are for the ladies. It has been long requested after my first haul of Armaf fragrances that were mostly for men. Not only women, but men also requested for this type of video. I'm going to mention again that I'm not sponsored by any sort of brand, not Tiara, not Armaf, not anyone. So I'm making these videos on my own. This video will feature several Armaf fragrances for ladies. Some of these fragrances are clones of more popular fragrances, but some of them have something on their own. And I did my best to find a similar popular fragrance to give you an idea. But don't worry, because if you don't know the popular version of these fragrances, I will also give my opinion about these fragrances and give you a hint whether if you like it or not. Before you dismiss the brand Armaf, think about this. What do you know about companies that produce niche perfumes? They only focus on producing perfumes, right? So Armaf is a brand that is owned by a larger company called Sterling Perfumes. If they are also focusing only on producing perfumes, aren't they niche also? So niche on a budget that smell great? Okay guys, let's get started, because the winter holidays are coming and maybe you're on a budget, or maybe you want to save money for buying something else, but you still want to make some great gifts, and a budget fragrance that smells amazing, I think it's the most appropriate gift for your beloved girlfriend or your beloved friends. The first fragrance I'm going to present to you has the most appealing bottle in this fragrance haul, and it is called Armaf Baroque. This cube-shaped bottle is really interesting. It has some sort of Rubik cube design on the cap, but unfortunately the cap feels a bit cheap, but the rest of the bottle is high quality. The fragrance is awesome, and I'm telling you why right now. It is a clone. Yes, it's a clone, and I'm going to say it smells 95% similar to Lancome La Belle. If you don't know the original, if you don't know La Belle, let me tell you that this fragrance, or the original, is the perfect mix between fruity, floral and gourmand. The only difference in those 5% is that the original is slightly sweeter and it's a bit more stronger. But don't get me wrong, these fragrances will last on your skin at least 8 hours. All of them except this one I'm going to present to you next. The next fragrance I'm going to show to you is the one that has the least power out of all of these fragrances I'm going to show to you in this fragrance haul. It has the least performance and the least projection. It is called Armaf Skin Couture Gold. I only have the pen spray version of this fragrance, and I'm not really fond of it. The only thing that I do like in this fragrance is a very prominent note of peach. To give you a hint of how this fragrance smells, it is quite similar to Burberry Brit sheer. I would say they're about 85% similar. It's a fragrance that is heavy on citrus, it has a bit of fruits, and it also has a bit of flowers. So do check that one out, and if you do like it, you could buy yourself this one, because they're in the same genre. The performance of this one, I would say it's about 5 hours, but then again it's a freshie, so you might not expect too much longevity out of it. And the projection is about 1 hour. Then it's going to be very close to the skin, and you're only going to be able to smell it if you're really going to put your nose on the skin. But again, that's the issue with most of the fresh fragrances. You know what's another great thing about Armaf fragrances? If you're a couple and you're looking to purchase yourself 2 amazing fragrances for a budget price, I think you would both be happy to purchase yourself the women and the men's version, because you see what I'm talking about? These two will look really awesome on a shelf, but tastes differ, so one of you might not like the men's version or the women's version, so I'm not saying that they will both be a match. But something to definitely look into. This one is next on the list, is called Armaf Italiano Vivo. This one smells very, very good. You know why? Because it smells like raspberry candy. And not in a sweet and gourmand way, in a fragrance sort of a way. And I found this fragrance to be similar to Lacoste L12 Magnetic for women. This is probably the most versatile fragrance out of all of these fragrances in this haul. You know, it's that type of fragrance that is not too sweet, not too floral, not too fresh. Definitely recommend it. Go and try Lacoste L12 Magnetic for women if you do like it. Check this one out. Again, the performance is 8 hours at least, as I said. Such a safe and a bit sexy scent, and could probably be worn by any girl, any lady, any woman. It doesn't have an age restriction. A safe blind buy if you want to get a great fragrance and you don't have the time or the place to test this fragrance. You can easily blind buy this. I will vouch for you. The next one is the most similar fragrance to its original. This one I could easily and safely say that is a really good clone, is a really 99% similar clone of YSL Manifesto L'Elixir. This one is from the Enchanted line from Armaf and it is called Light Blue. It has no similarity to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue because this one is a very, very gourmand fragrance. Again, the cap is not that great, but the rest of the bottle is really nice and feels really great in the hand. And again, it really matches with the men's version from the Enchanted line. Take a look. This is so gourmand that you would want to eat it. I'm not joking. It smells like caramel vanilla pudding. It's quite strong and it's very good for this winter. Actually, I would not recommend you use it during any other season than winter. If you do want to wear this indoors, please be gentle with the sprayer. I wouldn't recommend you go more than 3 sprays. Outdoors, maybe you want to go 4, 5, maybe 6 if it's a real harsh winter. But to wrap this up, if you do like YSL Manifesto Elixir and you want a cheaper version, then this is identical to that one. Okay, next one. It is Armaf Vanity Femme Essence. Now, don't get fooled by the word essence. This is not as strong as it might seem to be. It is actually a fresh fragrance. It is very similar, I would say 85 to 90% similar to Gucci Flora. This is again a fresh fragrance that smells like peaches, but it has more florals in it. So for me, it's more appealing than the Skin Couture Gold because that was more citrusy. And I do enjoy this one more. And this one also performs really good for a fresh fragrance. This lasts on the skin for at least 8 to 9 hours and will project for at least 2.5 hours. The bottle is quite nice, it has a magnetic cap. Sometimes they do make poor quality bottles, but this is not one of them. So if you do like Gucci Flora and you want a more affordable alternative that is of a great quality, then do check out Vanity Femme Essence. Another one from the Enchanted line, and this one is called Katerina Leaf. It's probably called leaf because it has violet leaf in it and it does have a strong smell of violet. This perfume is so strange because it's not as sweet as the others and it's not a sweet fragrance in general, not gourmand, not fruity, it's mostly floral, but it's the strongest out of all of them. This has a beastly performance, it passes the 12 hours mark, it even goes beyond. The projection is enormous. I would definitely recommend using this during fall and winter. A floral fragrance that's not sweet and can be worn during winter. How crazy is that? If I had to match this fragrance with a more popular one to give you an idea of how this one smells, I think that the most similar popular fragrance to this one is Kenzo Flower. And I would say they're about 70, maybe 75% similar. Okay, I've kept saying that it's strong, but Does it smell good? Yes, of course. It is strong, but it's not overwhelming. It's very floral in general, but with a very prominent note of violet. And this purple bottle, I think it's really appealing. Okay, the last fragrance is another one from the Enchanted line. And unfortunately, they have only 3 of them. And after talking about this fragrance, I'm going to immediately say why this is unfortunate. This one is called Katerina Blush. And before saying that this one is similar to some other popular fragrance, I'm going to say that this one smells like a woman angel walking into a garden of flowers. That is the best way to describe this fragrance. It is so safe. I could say this fragrance is kind. Yes, it is kind. This really smells like a garden of flowers in the spring, which immediately makes you think that this is most appropriate to be worn during spring. Yes, this fragrance is so amazing in a way that is beyond sexy. If I had to pick the most sexy fragrance out of all of these I've shown to you today, I think this is the most sexy one for me. A sexy fragrance that is safe. What? Guys, I couldn't find a fragrance that this one was very similar to. So this was another point for this fragrance. The fragrance that I found to be most similar to this one was Viva La Juicy Rose, but they are far from being clones. So please, if you do find a fragrance that is very similar to this one, please let me know by leaving a comment below. The Enchanted line from Armaf would be the perfect match for every season that any lady would want, but they're missing one fragrance, and it's the summer one. This one is best to be worn during fall. This one is for winter, and this one is for spring. But where's the summer version? Well, we're waiting for that one. But this is a set that every woman should have in her collection. Okay guys, that was it. But this was just part 1. And before I end this video, I will please ask you, if you do own these fragrances, what's your opinion about them? Let me know by leaving comments below. Until the next video, keep smelling great.